Okay, here you can clearly see the throttle body, and we only have one little electrical connection to undo. These trucks are drive-by-wire, meaning there is no cable that runs from the accelerator pedal to the throttle body. It's all electronic. There's a little motor. The motor is actually right there, and it twists and it opens up this butterfly valve. So, like I said, it's drive-by-wire. There's no cable, like you probably heard airplanes, or some airplanes are fly-by-wire, meaning the controls go to either an electronic actuator or a hydraulic motor that actuates the control surfaces. So anyway, we'll zoom in here. There's our little electrical connector, and all we really got to do, there's a little kind of tab here right on top, and all you do is you push down on that. I'm just using a little screwdriver and pull this little gray piece off of there like that. Pull that off, and then the whole assembly just kind of pops right off like that. So you don't have to unplug this little, you can if you want unplug this little purple one, but if you want, just come in here and pull this little tab out and the whole assembly come out. So now we're ready to get in there and actually remove the throttle body. Alright, and removing the throttle body assembly is real basic. There's 2 nuts on the top and 2 studs on the bottom. These studs up here on the top stay into the intake manifold, and the nuts themselves just come off. So you take off the 2 nuts on top and the 2 studs on bottom, and they are 10 millimeter. Use your 10 millimeter wrench or socket, and it just pops right off. So there I've got the throttle body actually removed. Just be careful of this O-ring right here. Don't damage it, just leave it in place. You don't need to mess with it. And like I said, there's 2 nuts on top. These studs stay inserted into the intake manifold, and 2 bolts on the bottom that have a little captured nut, kind of nut zert thing on the bottom there. So we got our throttle body off, and now we'll start cleaning it. Alright, the one thing, if anything, that you need to take away from this, do not press this butterfly open. There's sensors up here in the motor, there's sensors up in here, and if you press this open, you'll totally throw off the calibration, and your truck will idle very high. It'll stay idled when you're at a stoplight. You'll have to stomp on the brakes to keep it from rolling forward. It's a real pain in the butt, and frankly it is kind of dangerous too. So don't press these throttle blades open. Just leave them in that position and clean around them. I'm just using some plain old carbon choke cleaner and some blue rags, and don't get too crazy spraying the carb cleaner all over this thing. What you should really do is put it on the rag and then rub your surfaces to get everything clean. So we're not too dirty here on the front, and the back is actually not that dirty either. I see there's some, you can see that crud in there. Now my best guess as to why this thing can actually get dirty is the PCV valve. Because if you think about it, the only thing going into the throttle body is air, or at least should be, from the air filter. The fuel is injected into the cylinder heads at the fuel injectors. So the reason this thing gets crudded up with carbon and junk, my best assumption is the PCV valve. Another thing that I think can gunk it up is over oiling your K&N air filter or whatever performance filter that you've got. If you over oil it, I think it sucks some of that in, because this is kind of oily, kind of crud. So just don't go crazy lubing up your air filter if you have a performance air filter. So let me get cleaning on this, and then we'll shoot another video. Alright, so there I got my throttle body cleaned. Let me just show you. So there was some nasty stuff in there. Let me spin it nice and clean up in here. There's some gunk there. Flip it over, there's a bunch of gunk right in this area. So we got that cleaned off. You can see the little towel underneath. So this one actually wasn't that dirty. The first time I ever cleaned this thing, it was much dirtier than it was this time. But that's basically how you do it. It's real hard to do this without opening the throttle valve even just a tad. You press on it too much and it kind of opens, and hopefully I didn't open it too much where the truck's gonna act up on me. But if it does, then I will shoot a video of that and show you what that's like. It does go, if your truck acts up and it idles high, that does go away. The computer relearns, it figures itself out, and it does go back to normal. So, and the same with the trouble light. If you have an idiot light on, and I can't remember the code because mine wasn't on this time, but you don't have to reset it if you don't have a programmer. You can just let it be. Just drive your truck. It usually takes about 50 miles of driving, and it will fix itself. It'll turn the light off. So, ready to put this back on. It's just the opposite of the removal. The 2 nuts and 2 studs. 1 electrical connection, and that's it. So I hope you learned something from this, and I appreciate y'all watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.